right. Next, I'll recognize anyone in the audience that would like to address council. And Vicky, if you'll come to the podium, and you know the drill.
Yep.
Name and address for the record.
Victoria Opillo Hamill, 715 Sherwood Drive. I'm here on behalf of Janelle Crossley, who was running against Barb Gleim, and she wrote something that she wanted me to read. I will then further the full extent of it all to Stephanie, that you can read the full extent of codes that she quotes and such. As most are aware, I, Janelle Kayla Crossley, am an 11-year-old advocate for gender identity in central Pennsylvania with a proven track record. I was also the 2020 candidate for the PA HD 199, currently held by Representative Barb Gleim. Although we were not victorious in 2020, I am your candidate for 2022, as I am making my second attempt in hopes of bringing change, equity, equality, and leadership in the 199th of Cumberland County. As most are aware by now, Barb Gleim has introduced HB972, which is titled Fairness in Women's Sports Act, which has been created to ban transgender girls and women from competing in women's sports. This bill has been created to display hate, bigotry, and discrimination of those within the transgender community, and especially towards our defenseless children within the gender spectrum. When kids play academic sports, they learn the value of teamwork, of coaching, of playing by the rules, and leadership. Trans youth deserve to have these benefits as much as any other child. Discrimination is wrong, and we will fight this and any other attempts to abrogate the rights of marginalized populations. There have not been any cases of transgender girls dominating sports leagues. We have seen high rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide attempts from rejection of someone's gender identity. Playing sports is not all about winning or losing. It is about how you play the game, learning teamwork. Legislators need to work on the issues that truly impact young people and women's sports. Lower pay to female athletes, less media coverage for women's sports, and cultural environments that lead to high dropout rates for diverse athletes instead of manufacturing problems and solutions that hurt the kids we are supposed to be protecting. Barb Gleim, the prime sponsor of this bill, and all co sponsors of this horrendous bill, are displaying hate and discrimination toward the transgender constituents within their governing districts, and even more disturbing, they are displaying hate and discrimination towards our trans children. Some of these districts that these lawmakers are supposed to be representing have non discrimination ordinances, such as the Borough of Carlisle. The following is just a portion of the ordinance held by the Carlisle Borough. The Borough of Carlisle finds that it is of high public importance to adopt appropriate legislation to ensure that all persons, regardless of actual or perceived race, color, religious creed, ancestry, sex, national origin, handicap, use of guide or support animals because of blindness, deafness, or physical handicap of the user, or because the user is a handler or trainer of support or guide animals, or sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, enjoy the full benefits of citizenship and are afforded equal opportunities for employment, housing, commercial property, and public accommodation. And I will then send to Stephanie codes that she does quote along with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky, for bringing that to our attention. I believe Janelle is absolutely right. This council has stood against hate and discrimination, even more so the fact that we have a Human Relations Commission ordinance. So, unless there's any objection, I'd like to direct staff to draft a letter in opposition to this legislation to be sent to Representative Gleim, as well as the entire Cumberland County legislative delegation. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on this?
I would certainly support that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay, we seem that we have someone else as well. Sir, name and address for the record, please.
At 121 North Bedford Street. I actually am a transgender man, so I'm here on behalf of the trans community as well. The T in LGBT is not silent. And I just want to say I grew up in Carlisle. I faced lots of bullying before I started transitioning when I was 25, and I will be 32 next week. Due to legal reasons, I can't say why or where, but I was discriminated against at a job here in Carlisle. And I know that we have the LGBT ordinance, but I feel like there needs to be more done with that aspect because it's clearly not working. And like Vicky pointed out with Janelle's letter, the anxiety and the depression and the suicide from being discriminated against like that, I'm up here shaking. I don't know if I'm on video or not, but it's really hard. And where people to, I believe the saying that you bleed and you bleed and you bleed. And this bill that a representative of Pennsylvania is trying to pass to exclude people is only going to make the anxiety and the depression and the suicide rates go up more. And Pennsylvania, and definitely in Carlisle, there should be no hate for anybody, and anybody that holds a seat like Barb currently holds should be in support of everyone, whether she agrees with it or not. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for coming forward. I know it's not easy sometimes for anyone to come before us and talk about their thoughts and how they feel about something, but we do appreciate you coming forward. Thank you so much.